kid. If you had a kid, you could run lickety split. But you can't run because you're the baddest. Well, Ric Flair, you know what? I'm not a normal-looking athlete myself. You know what I'm talking about? I've been in the gyms a lot. It's a privilege and an honor to walk out with Ole Anderson, Lex Luger, and the Army tomorrow night.
I am not a happy camper. What is Bully Ray's motivation? You know, I know he loves sugar. But I check my pocket. I don't have no donuts. I don't have no cheeseburger. I know you love sugar, but I ain't got none.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, pal. I'm the man.
Look at a match for the total package like Luger and Super Brawl. Super Saturday? What is it? I don't know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
You don't lose faith in winners. And Ric Flair, day in and day out, every day of his life, just keeps winning and winning and winning.
Ric Flair! New York City, Ric Flair! You're gonna find out what hard is all about!
I do exactly what I want to do. You say I'm insane. I say thank you very much.
Make a good intro.
I hate guns!
Hit the deck! Yes! We love you, Scott Steiner! Today, woo, I've got the star and profile like never before.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
It is Friday. It is Dirt Sheet Dudes. What is going on, everybody? I am Boxman. Across from me over there is the smarkety of all the smarkety smarks. What is up over there, Smark Man?
Yes, sir. What's going on? How are you?
Still kind of shocked, to be honest with you. Obviously, the news has been out, for a couple hours now. New Jack, the passing, obviously why I played that. The passing of New Jack. I don't think anyone expected that. I got to be honest, it's still kind of setting in a little bit with me. The guy was just on Twitter yesterday afternoon talking shit about mass transit, I believe.
That does sound like him, yes.
Well, yeah. Listen. I'm not going to sit here and, be like, oh, New Jack, this great guy, this amazing talent. No, New Jack was what he was. He did try to kill a couple of guys in the ring and out of the ring. But just, guy, you kind of through the years, you grow up with these guys, you watch them, you see them, and New Jack was on social media a lot, so he was still kept his name out there. We just saw him on the dark side of the ring. I believe, doesn't the second season have a mass transit one coming up? Or the second half of this season?
I'm sorry, what was that?
doesn't the second half of this season have a mass transit one with coming up?
No, that was last season.
That was last season. Okay. So, I mean, we just saw all this stuff, and, it, like I said, man, it's just tough. It's hard to just, like I said, when you see him on social media and his account, and next thing you know, today, I'm literally sitting there, and I'm like, this can't be fucking true. It just can't be true. And I'm flipping through. I always go to Google and I hit news after I type in, I put in New Jack wrestler and hit news. And there it was on, all these news sites. So, and I guess his current wife confirmed it. He did have a heart attack today and died, I guess, this morning or this afternoon.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild. It's very wild. It was kind of almost sort of fitting in a way because I was watching the Dark Side of the Ring that they did on Nick Gage earlier. Mm-hmm. And as I had just gotten done watching that, I was looking online for news for, stuff to talk about tonight. I saw that, and it's kind of interesting because there's definitely some parallels where if you look at it, they're both sort of controversial figures. They both had some incidents in their life that they probably, might have regretted. Yeah. Substance abuse issues, things like that. Neither one of them were necessarily the most gifted technical wrestlers, but they both had a real way of connecting with people. They're both charismatic sorts, and they both had a very infamous match with somebody who may or may not have necessarily, quote unquote, belonged in the ring that turned pretty violent. So,
wow. Yeah, there is a lot of parallels right there. I didn't even think of all that, but 100% right, man. But like I said, it's still just kind of like, what? Really? Yeah. I mean, I didn't follow New Jack his whole career, but he was someone that was in our face. I mean, if you watch the Beyond the Mat documentary, that was one of the guys that the guy was like, of all people, I became really good friends with New Jack. And we saw a whole thing on him right there. And, just, again, he's just kind of a guy we grew up with forever, watching him do crazy shit in the ring to people and just, get heat like no one could get heat. But, I mean, man, him and the Dudleys could really get some fucking heat, bro.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was the number one thing about him was regardless of what you thought about him, it was undeniable that he had the ability to talk. He was a great talker. He was very charismatic. He was very interesting. You knew that even if you totally disagreed with what it was that he had to say, regardless if it was a promo or a shoot interview, that you were going to want to watch it. You were going to want to hear it. Well, and yeah, exactly. even before like ECW, I was watching on Twitter, some of the people were posting Smoky Mountain clips, and like just imagine early '90s in that particular region of the country and that particular style of wrestling. It was, probably 15, 20 years past its time at that point. Anyway, you had the sort of old school wrestling the way the Cornette likes it, and then out comes fucking New Jack talking about what he talks about and wrestling the way he wrestles. It was wild.
Yeah. Oh, wow. We haven't had the Hep in the chat in a while. Nice to see you, Hep. Good to have you.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Good to have you. But yeah, and yeah, man. I mean, New Jack was just, like everyone in the chat is saying, he was him, and yeah, even if you didn't agree with a lot of the stuff he was saying in Smoky Mountain, I don't think a lot of people would, but it was controversial. It did get him over, and like I said, he drew a lot of heat for it, and it kept his career going. It really did. It definitely kept his career going. So, man, rest easy, New Jack. Not sure where you're going to go, but rest easy wherever you are, sir. I don't know what. I'm not sure what to say about that one.
Well, I've been seeing a lot of people posting it was the end of the Dark Side of the Ring documentary that they did about him that you had referenced, where it's like, if they made a movie about you, how would you like it to play out? And he said he just wants the end to just be him in a wheelchair just doing a fuck ton of cocaine. And he says he just wants the line to be the end, and he just throws up a middle finger and he's like, "Thanks, bitches." And that, if anything could describe the way that he lived, it was pretty much that. Like, he did not give a fuck what anyone thought. He did his own thing, for better or for worse, but he made an impact.
Wow. Yeah, most definitely. And Christopher Kane just came in. It looks like he didn't hear about this. I know he's a working man. So Christopher Kane, it was a heart attack today that he had, and wife confirmed it. We did lose New Jack today, and Hep says, awesome to catch the show live. Loyal downloader, 100% appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Thank you. Keep downloading. But yeah, man, just like I said, it's still not setting in, you know.
Right. I had the action figure when I was a kid, the ECW action figure where it was him and it was Guardrail, because they all came accessorized with weapons because it was ECW, and of course it was. So I had that one. I had the weapon, like you said, the Beyond the Mad thing. Like, I've quoted that just dozens of times. Of just the whole, well, he's Denzel's pal, but I don't think he's quite Denzel. Like, I will forever remember that. That was awesome.
We do have a lot of New Jack out of character. Excuse me. We do have a lot of New Jack out of character and a lot of documentaries that I don't think a lot of people expected to have that much footage of New Jack not in character. So that's good to have. And, we got all his matches, wherever you can find them.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a feeling New Jack will live on forever. And I don't think WWE will be mentioning this, though. Just a guess.
Probably not. Adam Pearce mentioned it, though. That was kind of interesting. He gave him a little shout out on Twitter. Kind of said that he didn't really, get to have a lot of opportunities to share a locker room with him, but when he did, it was eventful.
Oh yeah. And Sacha Baron Corbin said his shoots were entertaining. Yes, they were. His U shoots are very entertaining. Definitely check those out. Wow. Yeah. So, it's just, like I said, the guy was sitting there on Twitter yesterday talking shit with fans and going back and forth. And like I said, he was a real presence on social media. He would do live videos. He would chat. He would respond to people, on his posts, and even comment on other posts. And just yesterday, he's doing it. Next thing you know, I'm seeing this today, and I'm just like, what? Wait. Hold the fuck up.
Right.
And yeah, like I said, it rang true. So, all right, man. We'll do plugs after the show. It never feels right doing plugs after talking about that. Then suddenly, oh look, high energy plugs. But I'm actually not sure where to go now with anything. We've obviously got SmackDown to get into. We've got a bunch of news to get into. We've got predictions to do, because this SmackDown was not only SmackDown, it was the go-home show for WrestleMania BackLash. What do you think of that, Smart?
Indeed it was, yes.
Uh-huh.
Well, it wasn't a bad show. It was it had its moments.
It did, and we are going to start with news again. So have no fear. We're not going to jump right into SmackDown. But yeah, it was a good show. It had one very surprising moment, seeing how close we are to a pay-per-view. But I guess they were looking to give us a little shocker of a run there on SmackDown, and they did. So maybe we should start with the few little AEW things and then gradually move over from there. What do you think about that, Smart? I had some AEW stuff. Well, part of the AEW stuff was yours. Also, let me move it all over real quick. AEW stuff. And I had one article that's been floating around today. Now, it's one of those articles, again, floating around. PW Torch first reported this. Wade Keller of PW Torch noted on his recent podcast that certain members of the elite are no longer on speaking terms. So it looks like we've got some brouhaha in AEW already starting. This is what old Wade had to say. There's going to There's gonna a book written someday.
Yeah, there's gonna a book written someday. That makes sense.
There's gonna a book written someday. It sounds like something. They're gonna book. Right.
They're fixing to put pen and paper to the old hickory wood.
Yeah, or some kind of wood. Get it? Wood. I say wood. Anyway.
It just continues to amaze me that they can't hire anybody to proofread this shit. Like I said, give me $5 and plug my fucking show, and I'll do it for you.
Jesus. And the problem is it won't show up. Like if you did this in like Word or something, it wouldn't show up as a missed. It would show up with a little mark saying the sentence is fragmented, but I guess no one looks at that. Anyway, let me just fix this so I don't fucking stammer and stutter. There's going to be a book written someday by these EVPs or someone else closely observing. And we're going to learn about a lot of dysfunction, Keller said. We're going to learn what a very short honeymoon period there was between certain people in the company who aren't even talking to each other anymore. He actually spent a little more time, Mark. Let me read the next paragraph here. It actually says, Keller is convinced the situation is so volatile, it's only a matter of time before specific details are made public. Well, isn't he making this public? Basically, right? Anyway.
It's only going to be a matter of time before I make these details public.
It's a matter of time before I hit publish on this article being put out right now. I think we're going to find that out, he continued. I know there are people in other wrestling companies saying the Bucks and Cody and Kenny, it's not going to be long at all before they want to have nothing to do with each other. The honeymoon period is going to be short. He just said the honeymoon period was over. Now it's going to be short. I'm so confused.
Who would have thought that somebody who took TV time out of a wrestling program to announce the gender of their baby would have a little bit of a problem working well with other people in a collective? It's absolutely astonishing that there would be ego problems amongst these people.
Yeah, I mean, plus you've got guys that still want to wrestle. They still want to get over. And, they've still got the, again, this is just a few people making little rumblings. This doesn't mean any of this is true. I'm taking this with a sea of salt.
A sea of salt. I like it. I mean, it is interesting, though, because this really was kind of the first of its kind in terms of like an experiment like this. Because there's been countless number of times where somebody that's been a former wrestler has opened up their own promotion, or even like a current wrestler has opened up their own promotion. But a collective of wrestlers opening up their own promotion, and in such a high-profile way of already having TV deals and advertisers and stuff before they even do their first,
Right. Yeah, and Hep is saying if the guys break up, he hopes it's Cody that leaves.
Fingers fucking crossed.
I don't think that would happen in a million years. I think I don't think any of them are going to leave. I think eventually they're all going to just, they're all inclusive, progressive. They need to just hug it out and let it go, man.
Have like a little sewing circle, sing Kumbaya by the campfire.
There you go. Pass the fucking joint around and just let it out, man. Just let it out,
Hey, I'm all about it.
I'm all about it. Fucking, I'll puff pass. Hell yeah.
Well, that's an interesting question in and of its own. Like, if you had to spend I don't want to say spend a night because that sounds suggestive. If you were you to have a smoke session or a drinking session with any of those aforementioned 4 people, funny how that works, who are you picking? Because you got Cody, you got Kenny Omega. He doesn't seem like he'd be super fun to be drunk with. Or you got the Young Bucks, who kind of come off as just like adult summer campers.
Yeah, I'd probably, believe it or not, I'd probably go with the Bucks because they're kind of still like frat boys.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'd probably go with them. Maybe they'd buy me something. I don't know.
I'm kind of tempted to say Cody because I feel like I could out Drake him, and then I would just have fun like drawing dicks on his head and like stealing his things.
Oh, come on. The guy's already got that giant tattoo on his neck. You don't have to draw dicks on his head. I mean,
That's true. Yeah, I don't think I could do any worse than that tattoo. I take that back.
I'm gonna want to be this big business mogul. I want to get a tattoo right here on my neck. Yeah, man. Oh.
It's Sasha Baron Corbin says Cody's going to join GFW, Old Global Force. He's going to be in fucking Ring King. Doesn't even exist anymore. Fucking the triumphant return of XPW starring Cody Rhodes.
He's going to buy them all.
Mm-hmm.
Cody's going to buy them all. The American Dream Wrestling Company.
ADC.
Oh, yeah. There you go. The American Dream Wrestling Company. Whatever. I'm and a lot of people are really shitting on that promo. I went back.
Rightfully so. Thank fucking God. I'm glad that everybody else agreed with me.
Yeah, I had a hard. I can't find it on YouTube. It was very hard to find it on YouTube without. Well, there was one, but it was a horrible copy of it. So I just whatever. I went back. I found AEW and I listened to it, and I literally burst out laughing a couple of times during it. Because I mean, first of all, I knew what was coming up, and I was like, this dude's saying. Basically, he was saying that his baby is gonna be the superhero that this world needs to save it.
Mm-hmm.
And not this world, this country. This beautiful, which I agree, beautiful, beautiful country. I really didn't mind the whole love the country stuff. Him doing it sounded douchey, but I mean, whatever.
Well, there is nothing wrong with loving the country. It's just, it was the most sort of pandering fucking 80s promo, but in the worst possible way. Not the coked up 80s promo, but just like you take away all the cocaine and you still just, it's like, it's a Hacksaw Jim Duggan promo, but without the cocaine.
I was expecting Toby Keith to come out. We'll put a boot in your ass. It's the American way.
Comes out in a monster truck.
Vroom, vroom. I'll tell you, that actually would have been fucking great. There you go, Dirk. Cody preparing for his run in politics. Yeah, that tattoo would go great in. Actually, you know what? It wouldn't. It would work out. I think Cody still lives in Atlanta or something, right? So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he still enjoyed it. That would actually be that would have been great though if like you just cut to Toby Keith and he's unaware. He's just sitting in his living room, just like eating a hot dog, and he just looks up at the camera, confused. What the fuck's going on? He's like, Cody mentioned America. We need you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and Sasha Baron Corbin, it did make sense because Anthony Ogogo is from the UK. He's British. Get it?
Wasn't AEW supposed to be like the opposite of this? Like, this is something that I don't even like. Vince isn't even doing this right now.
We're not going to insult your intelligence. We're not going to do spots that look shitty. We're not going to stand here and wait 5 minutes for people to jump at us. I mean, it's at you know what? At this point, Dirk hit it on the head. AEW is fucking. They're politicians at this point. They're just lying to us.
Mm-hmm.
Son of a bitch, Cody. Maybe. Holy shit. This could be. He might have just fucking unearthed something. My God, let's start that rumor right now. Cody is preparing for his run in politics. Dirk, take the reins on this. Okay.
Can we somehow pin him as like a QAnon supporter? Like, there's no proof. I want him to go away. So that's the best. That's our best shot.
Oh God! Listen, Jericho donated to Trump, and people seem to not care. Which no one should give a shit.
Yeah, but people like Jericho.
True. Jericho is Jericho, but people also dude. You cannot deny Cody still has his glamour honors. There's people that are going to defend Cody until the day he die.
That's true. Other people with other shitty tattoos.
Yeah, well, maybe. Those people, and just the diehard AEW fans that just, there's nothing you can say about their Cody Christ. Nothing. So, what are you going to do, man? All you can do is whatever. But yeah, I was expecting Toby Keith, and I really would have enjoyed that, to be honest with you. I would have.
If he would have came out and like body slammed Cody in that moment, he would have turned face. Everybody would have cheered. Like, stop stealing my gimmick, motherfucker.
God damn it, we're gonna have Toby Keith back again. Bro, where's that monster truck? Yeah, so but again, back to the actual point of this was all these guys are actually starting to feud a little bit. And again, I don't know if any of this is true. This could all be complete bullshit. I mean, they were reporting the other day that Ricky Starks might need knee surgery, and Starks was like, no, completely inaccurate bullshit. So you never know with these, but if true, let's just hypothetically say if it's true, I do see these guys eventually being like, listen, we need to start thinking this is our business, and we don't need to get along, but we need to think business. And I don't know, man. I got to tell you, I will say the show has been, I'm not going to say slipping the past few weeks, but it's definitely gotten a little chaotic the last few weeks, more than usual. Maybe it's because these guys are just not talking and not communicating, and that would affect morale around guys, if true, once again. So, I don't know, man. What do you think there?
You know, I was hearing somebody complain about that the other day, that there's just too much going on. Because, like, the prime example was that they basically glossed right over SCU retiring, or not retiring, but that being their last match as a team, and potentially even Daniel's last match as a wrestler, and how they basically just had them hug for, like, a couple of seconds, and then that was about it. And, like, that was the example that they gave. But I also think that it could be that, or it could just be them trying to reach a younger generation of people by just having so much going on at once that you can't look away because you might miss something.
Yeah, and you know, I did notice that the other night, and I the reason I didn't bring it up is because I think they would have gave them more time if Daniels wasn't bleeding like a stuck pig from his eye, from his eyebrow, literally. I mean, he showed a picture of himself today with stitches. Might have been yesterday. But, I mean, maybe they would have... He can't just sit there on TV and be bleeding like that, trying to talk to people, cutting a promo, blood rushing out of his head every time his heart pumps, you know?
That worked for Flair.
It's 2021.
That's true. Well, there's a lot of things that worked for Flair that wouldn't fly these days.
Yeah, it also worked for Flair running up and down a fucking airplane with his dick hanging out. But anyway.
Boys will be boys, Foxman.
That's right. That's right. And kids have knife fights all the time. Yeah. I think they'll eventually just be like, listen, but yeah, all right. Well, I know we were talking about the whole Daniels thing, but again, you can't just sit there and have blood rushing out of your head. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they're going to have a little segment put aside next week for them.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
And if they do, that'll maybe shut a lot of people up, or it'll piss a lot of people off. One of the two.
Probably both.
Probably both. So that kind of takes care of both of the little AEW things we got right there. Actually, no, Smark, we got a little. Speaking of AEW, Smark, you and last you sent me one little note on the AEW ratings there.
That's right. So this week's edition of Dynamite was 936,000 and a 0.31 amongst the 18 to 49 crowd, all the cool kids out there.
Now, they did fall pretty hard in the 18 to 49 demo this week. I will admit that. But I got to tell you, man, 936,000, that's nothing to fucking boo-hoo or be ashamed about. Especially when you've got NXT over there unopposed doing, what was it, 697 or 667? I forgot.
Yeah, 697.
697,000, not even breaking 7, not even breaking 8, which I had said, when this whole move happened, if AEW can continue to at least hit 8 and above, I think they're gold. So I don't think this is a number to laugh at. Yeah, they went down a little bit. Last week was a gimmick show with blood, guts, and, I know this show had blood. I'm sure the quarter ratings for that match were very good. But, both, and like Dirk is saying, both shows fell this week. Not as far as NXT fell, but I don't think these are numbers we can bitch about here, 936,000.
Right. It is kind of funny, though, that we were talking about before on Wednesday, actually, that we were, Raw was number 1 on cable, AEW was number 1 on cable, SmackDown was number 1 on network. And for last week and now this week, like, all of the shows have gone down in viewership. Like, what number exactly they are amongst cable or network, I'm not sure. But this is kind of funny that, like, all three just dropped.
Meltzer hitting for that wrestling boom, and then everyone's like, you know what? Take this boom, bitch. All right.
People just specifically not watch just to prove him wrong. I could see it happening.
Probably.
Can't let him keep getting away with this.
I mean, I would do it, but that's just me. I'm just kind of weird like that. But anyway, yeah. So again, I don't feel these numbers to scoff at right now. I would say if we're 6 months down the road and we're looking at maybe 700s, I think we should be concerned. Even 3 months down the road, we're looking at 700s. I would be more concerned. If you're doing NXT numbers at that point, I would have a concern. Right now, you're still, in that. I would say anything from 9 to 1 million is definitely a win for them either way. So,
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, and I'm not, I don't get too hung up on the ratings, but that's not bad right there, not bad at all. But we have one little last thing that you sent me, Smark, about AEW and the first match of the night with Moxley and Yuji Nagata, or whichever one.
Mm-hmm. Yogi Nagata, the bear that steals the picnic baskets.
Hey, boo-boo, I got a picnic basket for you.
There you go. So what I said about this, I was sort of lobbying for it from the beginning, and I said that it was the only thing that detracted from the match was that there was no Sonny Ono. I was hoping that there'd be Sonny Ono. We got no Sonny Ono. There was a tweet that sort of echoed those sentiments, but from AJ Kirsch that says no Sonny Ono, and this is thumbs down gif. Well, get ready. I hope everybody's sitting down. As it turns out, Sonny Ono was in attendance. He said, I was in attendance with my support of New Japan and Yuji Nagata, and he showed photographic evidence, which he probably should based on the attacks and his credibility that have come out. But it is right there, clear as day. He was there. He was in attendance, mask on, in the front row.
Absolutely. And you know who else was there backstage for this?
Who's that?
Old Shinsuke Nakamura.
There was dun.
There were some pictures of him backstage at this little event also. Yes, just let them fly. Imminent. AEW move imminent. Oh, shut up, you fucks. He wanted to see his friends.
Hold on now. No, we might be onto something. We could be breaking news here.
Oh.
See, hold on. We got to do this right. A source has told us.
Sauce. Ooh, I love sauce. What kind?
A source that does not wish to be named, of course. You have to make sure that, anonymity. You could, actually name a name so that way they can't say that you're full of shit. But just, an anonymous source is telling us.
A mystery sauce.
You've heard it here, folks.
Ooh, a mystery sauce.
I think it might be Polynesian, but, we won't let that slip. Maybe some Chechen. I like it.
Okay. I'm not sure what a Chechnyan sauce would even be, but okay.
I probably mispronounced it. Whatever the fuck the one is at McDonald's that everybody loves.
The special sauce?
No, the spicy one.
Oh, I have no clue.
I'm gonna. Yeah, exactly. No one knows. No one knows how to pronounce that.
Sriracha? No. Damn it, I don't know. I try to stay away from McDonald's.
Well, yeah, as should everyone, but that's besides the point. We'll get there. I'm looking up their sauces as we speak.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Yeah. So Sonny Ono was there, and Nakamura, and no, we're not going to start stupid mystery sauce that he's. I mean, trust me, it's already been done for the past day and a half. So no reason for us to jump into that right there. But I guess we could jump into a little bit of little WWE stuff right now, and we'll knock out SmackDown, or we'll do WWE predictions, then knock out SmackDown and wrap up. I don't know. We'll either wrap up on SmackDown or predictions. Let's. Szechuan sauce.
Yeah, I was in the ballpark. I think
you said No, I believe you were going for Chechnyan.
I made up a country, and I gave them their own sauce.
No, I believe Chechnya is a country. No, or a city in a country. I'm not sure. A part of a city in a. I'm really not. Don't ask me about fucking geography.
We're off to a great start, aren't we?
Or math, or history, or science, or. Ask me about boxes. I know about boxes. Imagine that. Imagine that. I know about boxes.
I was going to ask you a question, but I couldn't even think of like what a box-related question would be. It's like, what would be the best one to put a guitar in?
A guitar, you would call Uline and grab a guitar box. They actually have boxes for guitars.
There you have it.
There you go. They do. Uline's got everything, dude. I mean, trust me. Well, again, we sell to like manufacturers of places and stuff and things like that. So, you want one box? I'm going to send you to Uline. You want a couple thousand? Bring it on. But I mean, packaging's not just boxes, by the way. It's we do plastics. Like plastic bags, film, shrink wrap, like what goes around a 5-Hour Energy, that shrink band. Mm. We do those in rolls, massive rolls. Crating with foam in it, crating pallets, all kinds of stuff like that. So packaging's not just boxes. It's a pretty cool little thing where you can kind of venture out and do anything that has to do with shipping a product. Like I said, from pallets to the box to the stretch wrap to the, that angle board, that strong stuff that goes on the side of pallets and stuff like that. So pretty much anything you can think of that has to do with shipping something out, we can get in mass.
Bubble wrap?
Not just boxes. I should be Boxman. Yeah. I should be Boxman and more is what I should be.
Boxman Plus.
Boxman Plus. Boxman and other shit. How do you like that, huh? Mm-hmm. There you go. Anyway, speaking of other things, I guess, just kind of... Sure. Yeah, just kind of roll on a little bit here. Actually, you know what, Smart? Let's, since we were just talking about Jon Moxley and the whole match with him and Yuji Nagata and all the people being there, why don't you jump into your little Fightful article here? You got that pulled up?
I sure do. And by I sure do, I mean I'm copy and pasting it into the browser as we speak. Anyway, the lead up to that was I did mention that I was watching the Dark Side of the Ring Nick Gage episode that came out Thursday. Uh-huh. And a lot of people were, but this is from Fightful. It's, one of the things that was said there was sort of an interesting thing that was drumming up some conversation. It was Dark Side of the Ring premiered its episode of Nick Gage on Thursday, May 13th. The episode looked at the life and career of Nick Gage, a legend in deathmatch wrestling and the reigning GCW World Champion. Jon Moxley, who praised Gage throughout, especially for his ability to connect with the fans, said, quote, "He's not going to stop, and I'm not saying he should. He has the number one talent you need. It's not biceps, it's not abs, it's the ability to connect. Vince McMahon would fucking kill to have one person with that connection to the audience that Nick Gage has. I kind of think his story is just getting started."
You know, this is kind of what we were talking about on Wednesday, Smart. How he has the ability to connect with fans so well. How, you know, I mean, like I said, this guy he's walking to the ring and people want to hug him. They want to hold him. They want to fall on me, man. They'd let him punch him if he wanted to. And after the match, he's bleeding. I mean, just everywhere. Blood, no shirt, sweat. And they still want to grab the guy and hold him and hug him and put his forehead to their head. And I'm like, dude, the guy's bloody. No, don't do that. COVID. But he does. He has a way to connect with with his fans. And, you know, I know back when, you know, he kind of just came back and he kind of became a nicer Nick Gage, a more I love you fans and that kind of Nick Gage. But he was also trying to put a company. He was trying to push this new company, GCW, kind of put it on his back, if you will, and he kind of has done that. And he's been very, very good to this company. This company has also been very good to him. They've got a great little partnership going, as far as I can see. But he does, man. He's got that thing, and like I said, I saw some people just complaining that, oh, you know, he turned nice and this and that. Well, you know, sooner or later you got to grow up. And I would also say after a little time in jail and getting out and having another chance at doing what you love to do, and not only that, but be able to represent this company and push this company, maybe it's time to grow up. Maybe he felt like he was doing grown-up things, and maybe that's what he really wanted to do. I got no problem with the guy growing up and getting out of his stupid ways. Not one bit.
Right.
So.
Right. No,
yeah,
I agree with that. And they even kind of mentioned that, you know, the whole relationship with GCW and his relationship with Brett and how that kind of evolved throughout the years. Yeah, that was always my thing that I always kind of found interesting, was like, I've never really been like number one fan of the guy. And like when he first came out, I started watching GCW. Like I kind of watched it in spite of him, because I just wasn't digging the promos. I wasn't really digging the matches too much. But then he just has a way, if you watch him for enough, you see the connection, you see the energy, you see it just becomes contagious, and you kind of can't help but to not like the guy. Like there's something about him that he just gets, you know, people behind him. And I think that is a very important thing to remember, is that is the most important thing, is just people's ability to connect. Like we talk about it all the time, there are people who are good wrestlers, but they just don't have that thing that just draws you in and makes you interested, you know?
Right.
And that is just an intangible thing. Some people have it, some people don't.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. And even just talking to the guy, me and Shaheen did talk to him. If you do want to find that interview, go on shoutengine.com/the hot tag. I know a THD podcast over there, and you can find that interview we did. But just a really cool, kind of down to earth guy. And yeah, he goes out there, and no, it's not much of a character. He kind of is who he is on and, you know, in and out of the ring, if you will. But just still a pretty cool guy. Just kind of came on, talked to us for a little while, and then he was like, "I see y'all later." I liked it though. I liked it, but he does just, again, man, when the crowd wants to just still put their arms around you when you are covered in your blood and someone else's, that tells me something.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
A, it tells me there's a lot of fucked up people in this world. B, it tells me this guy really fucking connected with his audience.
I did sort of notice that made me feel kind of weird because I was hearing all these people talking about how it was a good documentary, but just a lot of people were saying they had a hard time watching it because of some of the images, because they do show a lot of like highlights from the death matches and whatnot, various spots. And I was watching it the entire time, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, I remember that. Like, oh yeah, that did look like it hurt, huh?"
Yeah, I've seen this, seen that, blah blah. Did they show the Did they show where he accidentally cut Louis open with the pizza cutter? Like really cut him open bad?
No, they didn't do that. Because they did mention the pizza cutter thing twice though, because they talked about Moxley doing a match with him where he, and we played that I think, where he put the pizza cutter in his mouth and slit it, and he thought that he cut his tongue off. And then in the match with David Arquette, which they did go to into great length about, so never you fear. He talked about how David Arquette was saying he put a pizza cutter in his mouth too, and he was saying that it kind of pissed him off. Because the whole thing was like, all right, just please don't cut me. And then he proceeded to cut him a couple of times.
Well, I mean, we all saw that match. I mean, Arquette made the biggest mistake of his life when he tried to shoot on Nick Gage. And he knew he did. And he knew it the second he did it. Yep. Mid-swing, he said, "Oh, what the fuck am I doing?"
It's amazing if you watch it back live, or not live, but if you watch it back, or if you watch the documentary. You can't watch it back live unless you have powers that I do not possess. But yeah, you just see the moment because like Arquette gets him and like he basically like tackles him and like he gets on top of him and you just see like Gage's eyes open up like, oh shit, we're doing this for real now, okay. And then there's a moment where he's like, oh fuck, and they were talking to Brad about it. He's like, oh great, he is going to for real beat the shit out of David Arquette. This is going to be lovely. And they show it and it's just like, and the match takes a turn.
Arquette walked into Nick Gage's world and didn't like what he was walking into. I guess he thought it was all, and I know some of the shit is gimmicked and stuff like that, but we've seen some pretty gruesome shit in deathmatch wrestling. I mean, Grim Reaper, damn near, when he took that thing, that caused the whole Jim Cornette thing. We saw that. I mean, I believe it was Josh Crane who fell into the bird spikes and they pierced through his skin. The referee had to pull it out of him.
Marcus Crane.
I'm sorry. Hey, I got the last one.
I
was close. Oh,
no. No, not at all. Not at all trying to shit on you there. As somebody who didn't necessarily watch that stuff, you have learned a lot via osmosis from hanging out with the people that you've hung out with.
Well, even that, I mean, me and Shaheen used to watch that shit. We would watch it live and pretty much, do what we do, the watch-alongs with it. And yeah, man, I saw some pretty crazy fucking shit with watching some of that stuff. And man, I've seen some pretty crazy shit. And every time they go into those, the goddamn, what is it? The things you put on that roofers use to put on the corners of houses. What do they call those things? Gussets. The gusset plates.
The gusset plates.
Oh, those and the razor blades and they always try to up each other, and it's like, oh my god, one of y'all are gonna die.
Fire. They showed the incident where he got caught on fire. They showed the incident where he almost died, like you had mentioned Wednesday.
Right.
Like it's a pretty intense viewing.
I'll bet. I need to check it out. Because believe it or not, I got to tell you, people that are not wrestling fans are coming up to me like, hey, did you see that Dark Side of the Ring, that documentary? Or, hey, have you seen that A&E documentary? And I'm like, what? People are actually watching this shit, dude. Like, not wrestling fans are catching this stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, I think, regardless of if you watch wrestling or not, a lot of these stories, a lot of these personalities are just so interesting that, even if it's not your particular cup of tea, it's hard to hear these stories and see these people and not be fascinated by it. Have you seen, by the by, I haven't and I want to, the Macho Man, the A&E documentary about the Macho Man? I heard it's been kind of controversial because it's basically, people were describing it as basically a hit piece. Like, they were very unflattering. Eric Bischoff even went as far as to say that he regretted being on it.
Right, I believe I actually said he was embarrassed to be on it. You know, I got to say I have not watched it. I've listened to a couple of podcasts talk about it, one review it. Honestly, I'll just lay it out here. I was listening to Post Wrestling with Wei Ting and John Pollock, and they were talking about it. They were alluding to that. I again, without seeing it, I'm not going to make a judgment, but I did hear that that's kind of what it came off as. They also said that they left out a few major things in it, which they've been doing to pretty much everyone that all the, you know, documentaries they've been doing. And but I really need to watch it to see really what it's all about. But I will say they got one coming up Sunday on Shawn Michaels, and I'm like, what is there to know about Shawn Michaels that I mean, you know, and again, I know, like I had just said, you got non-wrestling fans watching this, but to a wrestling fan, that one's like, meh, we know the story. Nah.
And we do, but at the same time, I think you know, that's the point that we kind of just got into. Is it's always interesting how they decide to relay these messages, like how they decide to tell the story, what they omit, who they interview. You know, it varies. And I agree with you. It's kind of we all know people who follow wrestling. We all know the story. But it's going to be very interesting how, you know, over dramatic it might be, or, you know, what, like you said, what gets omitted. There's all kinds of different ways that you could play with it. They were showing, I don't know if you saw it, but they showed a commercial for it during SmackDown, and it seemed like the most melodramatic shit in the world. Because he was like, I was on my hands and my knees and I was crying and I was hoping, I didn't know if you would forgive me. And it's like, dun dun dun, and music, and it's like, next Sunday. And it's like, okay.
He lost his smile. Oh, I mean, you know what, though? I mean, excuse me. I got to get a mute button for this. I don't know why my throat's been so dry lately. It's just fucking allergies up here killing everybody. Even my dog. My dog is having bad allergies. I had to get one of those cones for him because he's scratching so much. But let's see. Oh, fuck. I forgot where we were because I said that. What were we just talking about, Smart? Where were we?
Well, we were talking about the Nick Gage documentary, The Dark Side of the Ring, and how, you know, people connecting with the fans. And then we were talking about Shawn Michaels, the Macho Man and the Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels one. I got to tell you, as wrestling fans, I believe we watch these documentaries in a kind of a different light, because we watch it to see what they're, like you had said, what are they going to omit? What are they going to focus on? How are they going to focus on it? So, yeah, but the average person, like I said, they're loving it. The people out there, they're like, oh, this is really great watching these guys' real stories. And you're like, it's kind of the real story. You know?
Yes, portions of. Because, I mean, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that this is a WWE, like, related production. Like, maybe not specifically by them, but, you know, with great input from.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it is. And, you know, the fact that they're leaving out what they are leaving out when they're leaving it out definitely seems like WWE moves to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess we can roll on from that. Now, since we were just talking about, you know, Nick Gage, GCW, and things like that, Deathmatch Hall of Fame is coming up Saturday, June 5th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And one of the guys going in is Sick Nick Mondo. Now, this is another guy me and Shaheen did talk to one time, by the way. I believe he was like in Japan or something when we talked to him.
Nice.
But, and again, you can go check that one out over there on Shout Engine. But again, really cool guy. Glad to see him getting something like this. You know, he was kind of phased out a little bit and then made a nice little comeback, and obviously one of the guys known for taking one of the first Weed Whacker spots. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, Smart, I know you probably know a little more about Sick Nick Mondo than I do, but like I said, we have spoke to him, and I did watch a few of his things to get to know him a little bit, and the guy's a little fucking nutty in a good way.
I mean, you almost have to be to do some of the shit that he's done.
Well, and to name yourself sick, Nick Mondo has probably got something to do with it. So go ahead, Smark. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. Tis true. Tis true. He was kind of somebody who was like one of the first people out that I had saw when I had started to learn about like deathmatch wrestling and like the ultra violent type of wrestling, trying to find, a predecessor to, or not a predecessor, but the next successor was what I was looking for, to like an ECW. He was one of the first people that I had seen. He was kind of somebody who was a bit like how Joey Janela was just before that time when you could actually go viral. Mm-hmm. I would see, clips of him falling off of buildings and, doing his moves off of like fucking flatbed, or not flatbed, but like fucking U-Hauls and things like that, of just these crazy, insane spots that he would do. And like I said, he was kind of an introduction to me, or for me, to like deathmatch wrestling. So much deserved.
Yeah, most definitely. And this will be streaming live on Fight TV. Anybody who wants to watch it, once again, Saturday, June 5th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So pretty cool, though. Pretty cool. I honestly didn't really know that they had a Deathmatch Hall of Fame. I'm not sure who's in it, but hey, any accolade is a good accolade. But you know what, Mark? I guess before we roll too far past the Nick Gage, Dark Side of the Ring kind of indie talk we're doing here, you sent me a clip of Nick Gage. Mm-hmm. A little bonus clip from the episode that aired last night. You want to get that one out of the way too?
Sure. Just provide a little bit of levity. Considering some of the other stuff that we've talked about. Also, just a real quick to add some of the names to it. One of the guys that's getting inducted with Nick Mondo is Supreme. He was an XPW. He's the big guy. So that's just, and then like they're doing one for a guy named Gene who builds some of the stuff that they use in the matches. So it gives you a little bit of an idea of what the Hall of Fame is about. But in regards to the clip, to kind of set it up, we were talking about the David Arquette match. And it was a bonus. It was something that was omitted from the episode of The Dark Side of the Ring. It was David Arquette was doing a documentary, You Can't Kill David Arquette. It's on Hulu. And they wanted to use the footage of the death match with Nick Gage on there. So he called them to sort of get in touch and strike up a deal. And that is what transpired.
Here we go.
I have a fucking mattress from David Arquette because David Arquette called me and he wanted to use my fucking footage. Well, Nick Gage is all about the fucking money. That's how I pay my fucking bills. He said, well, we don't do money for documentaries. I said, all right, well, then I don't know what to tell you. See you later, bud. Then he got his wife to call me. Mrs. fucking whatever the fuck her name is. She would call me and, no, man, I need money. No. Well, how about this? How about we send you a mattress? A brand new mattress, king size, for your footage.
So I sent him a mattress, like a really nice mattress. Just as like a funny, I don't know, it's just funny to me, like a death match thing, like something soft and comfortable. That's my sense of humor.
Fucking came in the mail. King size, some type of mattress, man. So, I got a brand new one sitting there. I love my mattress so much, it's hard to fucking get a brand new one,
Here's a death mattress.
That's it. What? King of the death mattress.
King of the death mattress. I think we just named the show. Where did that come from? What do her parents own a death mattress place or something?
I think what I kind of got from in between David Arquette's cackling at his own joke was the idea that he wanted this contrast of sending this like violent, gruff man a soft, comfortable mattress. I think that was his joke behind all of it. And I love that. I would have loved nothing more if he said his fucking wife, Courtney. Like, still just believe it. Like, for some reason, he was really all about the David Arquette, Courtney Cox marriage, but he fell out of the loop after that.
Oh God, that's a great story. He has a mattress.
And basically implied that he didn't even use it. He was like, well, I love my old one so much, though.
Well, when you need it, I guess it's there. I guess it'll be there.
Unless he sold it, which could also be inferred from what he said.
Could have. He definitely could have. So, oh man, I'm King of the Death Mattress. That's definitely the name of the episode tonight. Definitely, most definitely the name. Holy shit, that was a great story. All right, let's roll into, I guess, a few more things here. So, oh my God. Real quick, this is, something we don't need to really spend a bunch of time on, and we should have done this when we were doing AEW, but whatever. I missed it. Jericho reportedly that little arm injury of his is legit, and he will be out for 4 to 6 weeks. But I got a feeling we're still going to see Jericho rolling around a little bit, doing what he did the other night, just kind of talking and being the antagonistic Jericho we know and loves, Mark.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I feel like that could be wrong, but doesn't that fall within the time frame of the pay-per-view?
I think it might. No. Wow. So
yeah,
might
it depends.
Back.
4 to 6 is kind of vague, but the pay-per-view is scheduled for, I believe, this month, and that would fall because I think it's the last month or the last week of the month. It's supposed to be the 30th?
May 30th. You're right. So, wow, he may not be able to compete in that match, which would could they get an alternate for him and a new signing? Someone replacing Jericho that we are maybe a Hall of Fame worthy signing?
I wonder whom that could be.
I have no fucking clue.
Just fucking triumphant return of S.A. Rios.
Ooh, there you go. Please don't do that to me. But
I would like to say that they've learned their lesson about these big signings, but I'm not quite so sure. We'll see. Because that was the thing during the press conference was Tony Khan was like, yeah, I got more big surprises on the way. And I'm like, oh, you have no idea what the reception of your latest big surprise was. Boy, just you wait until you look online.
Yeah, and you know what? He does know because he does keep up with shit going on online. So he knows. He knows that not a lot of people were very happy with the way he presented the old Christian there. And I do mean Christian Cage, I'm not making fun of religions here, guys. Throw that out there. Anyway, again, don't need to spend much time on that, but Jericho out of action 4 to 6 weeks. Sounds like I forgot to put my phone on vibrate. Who cares?
That was the mystery sauce that we mentioned before, just sort of confirming things.
Oh, are they telling us who's going to be the mystery signing replacing Jericho?
Mm-hmm. Got a man on the inside. We're doing this official now. Now we got our own anonymous sources.
Probably my wife.
We're going to be ringside news in no time, buddy.
It's probably my wife sending me pictures of houses. Yep, it is. Oh, man. All right.
Ooh, hold on a second. I just realized that you are in Florida.
I'm what?
Which is also the same location of the In Your House house.
I am where?
Think about it.
Oh.
Well, actually, you're in Texas. I forgot that you lived in Florida and you are now in Texas. I got that mixed up. But still, you need a house.
Yeah.
You lived in Florida. You like it.
Like I said, man, I'm just going to gather some lumber and some gas and see what I can do. Maybe some hand sanitizer. See if I can get a house.
There you go.
I'll throw in.
Is it finally time for you to cash in your Dogecoin?
It might be. Oh my god. Oh, this cryptocurrency thing, man. Crazy. Things are going crazy with it. But anyway, Speaking of going crazy, Smart, you want to talk about some crazy deals going on this weekend, sir?
Are we selling used Toyotas?
Yo, no, we're not. We are. You know what,
It's the
Peacock?
Memorial Day sale at Crazy
Oh.
Joe's Honda.
You want to sale? Do you want to get WrestleMania BackLash for 99 cents? All you have to do is sign up for Peacock just for that. They will give you this WrestleMania BackLash for just 99 cents. That's right, a limited time only. 80% off the normal price of $4.99.
Oh.
So, if you want to save $4 exactly.
I mean, it's a deal at any price.
I was reading this article and I'm laughing. I mean, the premium package is only $9.99 a month, so which isn't bad. And again, I went ahead and just got the whole year. You pretty much get 2 months free if you just do the whole year. So at the time, I had extra money, so I did it. But $4.99, and I guess that's for the one with commercials, limited commercials.
That's right. And knowing them, presumably it's for the Peacock network.
It is. But I will tell you, they've got a little bit of a few shows the kids have been liking on there. So I'm kind of glad I got it so far. But, yeah, like I said, if you do want to get that WrestleMania BackLash for 99 cents, go ahead and sign up for Peacock. Brand new. And it's almost like WWE was like, you know what, you need to give it to them for a month. I'm telling you.
Hey, work like gangbusters for us, pal. Damn it, you just give them a free subscription.
Give them it for free. The email does say, actually, you do get the 99 price, and that does include WrestleMania BackLash plus 1 month of the WWE Network content and everything Peacock has to offer. So what they're basically doing is 99 cents, and you get everything from Peacock with limited commercials. So not a bad deal if you want to do that for a month and then do the old cancel.
I know they were doing free trials, like a week free trial, because I knew a guy that watched WrestleMania that way. That guy was not me. I'm not trying to secretly tell on myself. But, yeah, they were for a period there giving away like a week subscription.
Yeah, I'm sure they were. So, but, all right, we've got 4 little articles to get back into, and then I guess we can go ahead and let's do SmackDown, and we'll wrap up with the predictions. That's what I think we should do.
Let's do it.
That's what I think we should do. Now, Smart, that means you've got 2, and I've got 2 articles left. That why don't you go ahead and kick us off with one of yours here?
All right. Well, we were talking a little bit about this on Wednesday, not on Sunday. We don't do a show on Sunday. The more you know. This one's from Fightful. It's Sin Cara talking about how basically the way that the WWE treats the Hispanic stars on their roster. Because we were talking about before with Humberto Carrillo and how they're always looking for Latin stars. Well, Sin Cara had something to say about this, again from Fightful. Neither version of Sin Cara took off for WWE for categorically different reasons. Sin Cara, formerly Hunico, and now Cinta de Oro. As for his WWE release in late 2019, and has been on the outside looking in ever since. One of his last opponents, Andrade, has done the same and expressed his frustration about how Latino talent is utilized or lack thereof. Cinta de Oro spoke with Fightful and agreed with his take, quote, "I think it only comes to show they don't care about Mexicanos. It's true. Now they say they want to do great things in Mexico. This is my way of thinking. Why would you want to segregate the talent instead of giving them an opportunity on your brand over here on Raw and SmackDown next time? Why would you have to segregate a talent and put them on their own brand just because you don't want to use them over here? It doesn't make sense." And then another quote from him later on, it says, quote, "Like what I was telling before, my decision to leave, it only makes my decision that I was right for leaving it. That I wasn't making it up or that I was leaving because of my ego or because I thought I was better than the company or all kinds of stuff. they started saying it was because we don't get the opportunities that we actually want to get. Like I said, how many guys were in WrestleMania? How many Mexicanos were in WrestleMania? None. Not even one. And the Latino star was not even a wrestler. Nothing against Bad Bunny. You know, he's an amazing artist. People love him. And great that he represents. But at the end of the day, if you're not a wrestler, I would be very upset if I was a wrestler and not having myself in WrestleMania and getting that opportunity. If I was Korea, if I was Garza, if I was Metal League, I would have been very, very upset with that decision because I've been there for many years, or a year or 2 years, whatever you've been there, and I don't get that opportunity. Then somebody else comes and takes it. Something's wrong, right?
Yeah, I can't say I disagree with him. And you know, and this is Hunico, right? Talking, not this is Sin Cara Dos, not Sin Cara 1.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
you know, you could tell because there wasn't like a amazing amount of grammatical errors.
Well, yeah, you're right, but
He tears an ACL during the interview.
he breaks his pinky. Oh, stop the interview! Shut the fuck up, you pussy. But anyway, you know, you're right. We did talk about this Wednesday, how it's amazing that they treat these guys so bad when this is a company who is always starving for the next, and, you know, we both said, you know, the next Rey Mysterio. I know they still have Rey Mysterio, but you need a younger one. You need one that's got more pep in his step, if you will. And yeah, they just shit on these guys and treat them. They either treat them like shit or they just treat them like the stereotypical, you know, way that WWE always has. And it's awful. Especially, I mean, Garza, what a fucking talent. Dude, they forced Andrade to want to be let go. Amazing talent right there. I mean, they've got all these guys. And again, this is a company that's always starving, trying to find the next this, the next that, you know, whether it be the next Rock, the next Stone Cold, the next whatever. They're always trying to find it. And they just don't care to treat these guys the way they should be treated. Like I said, man, I mean, look what they're doing with Garza. He's getting roses shoved up his ass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Lucha House Party over there, you know, if they're not stealing belts, they're losing matches. And then they go to NXT and they're treated like real fucking wrestlers. And it's like, just put them back in NXT maybe.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's one thing, like, you can't continue to say, and it seems like it's been that way, you know, not to be crass, but ever since Eddie Guerrero passed away, that they've been looking for that next big star, the next big Latino, the next big Hispanic star. You can't keep saying that that's what you're trying to do, and then you just don't push anybody. You don't put anybody in like a potential, you know, role to succeed.
Right.
Or you keep doing only the people that you want to push. Like we've talked about before, I believe that because they're using Dominic and because they still have access to Ray, that's the people that they're intent on pushing, and then they don't want to push too many of one type of person. You know, so it's just like, but you have people that, regardless of what they are talented performers. Andrade was talented. You know, there's a lot of people that were excited about him when he was there. There's people excited about him when he was leaving. There's a fan base for Garza based on his time in NXT. I like him. I think he's talented. There's quite a few people that agree. There's all kinds of other people, you know, that you could use that you're just not using right now. And then you can't continue to say that, you know, wonder why you don't have the next big Latino star when you have all these talented people that fit that ilk on your roster, but you're just not doing shit with them.
Yeah, and I'm going to bring up Garza once again. I mean, when he was back there with Andrade, he was really getting over. And when Andrade was hurt, Garza was still getting over. And they, look what they're doing. Again, the guy's getting a rose shoved up his ass. How can you take a guy that was, I mean, I know it's hard to say anyone is over right now because there's no crowd, but there was talk about him. He had the whole Lethal Lothario gimmick going on, and it was going well. And it just, that they've really, I mean, talk about dropping the ball on a guy who can go out there and have really good matches, because he was having some really good matches. We talked about some of his great fucking matches that he was having out there, and this character, and this, and the fact that he could cut a really good promo. And then now, like I said, once again, he's getting roses shoved up his ass, kicked up his ass, whatever you want to say, by Drew Gulak. He's basically one toe away from 24/7 category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was for a while there.
Exactly.
For a couple of weeks, they had him in 24/7 purgatory.
Well, in the locker room, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I can't say I disagree with anything he's saying here.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. I don't know. What else you got on that, man?
No, I think it pretty much covers it.
Yeah, I think they probably spent too much time on it. But again, it does just anger me that they, just they're so hypocritical of their own fucking thing they're doing. Literally, oh, we need, Latino talent. Okay, well, here's some really good Latino talent. Well, we don't need that Latino talent. I mean, Carrillo's out there getting made a joke of. Everybody's just all of it. Make up your fucking mind. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Make up your mind, bitches. All right. And, I guess speaking of that, since we're talking about Garza and Andrade and all the Latino talent, let's just go ahead and jump into this real quick. It's been a lot of rumors about Zelina Vega being at the Performance Center filming things. Now, this could be either now, again, she was filming some kind of movie they were doing on Aaliyah or something, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I did hear that she was back doing a project for them.
She was. Now, obviously, the rumor floating around is, oh, well, obviously she's coming back. They were filming vignettes for her. If she is, I get it. That's fine. Maybe they'll put her with Aleister Black coming in somehow, except the whole book he's reading has things to do with the father. He seems like he has some daddy issues going on, but we'll talk about that later. But Zelina Vega, a lot of rumors floating around. I don't know what is true and what is not true, so I'm not going to, speculate too much. But listen, I see a lot of people. The one thing I want to talk about is I see a lot of people coming on and being or on social media like, oh, well, she'd be a hypocrite to come back to the company after the way they treated her. Would she? Really? She was kind of let go wrongly. If they brought her back, I think it would be kind of a Maya Copa, let bygones be bygones and come on back. Or I don't think it's that bad. I don't think she's being a hypocrite. How many places do you have to go right now? Okay, there's AEW. Mm-hmm. I get it. AEW, MLW, but I mean, what would be wrong even if she's just coming back to film some things for WWE studios or whatever it is? Whatever. There's nothing wrong with still being a decent human and wanting to work with the company, even though they got rid of you. And if they're like I said, if they're bringing her back, good. I got no issues with it. But it just seems like people want to make it an issue that she, like I said, make her some kind of hypocrite or something. But she supports unions. Oh well, it's a difference of opinion. Bring her back. Who cares? Get over it. Sorry.
Well, yeah, no worries. I think it was just the way that she went out, and like you did say, they sort of released her, but just the idea that she was fighting against so much of this stuff that was so very polarizing and unpopular in a lot of people's eyes at the time. the whole, trying to keep people off of Twitch, that kind of thing. She had just basically out of protest, kind of hopes of maybe getting fired, like started the whole OnlyFans thing, to sort of try to force their hands, and just speaking out about the stuff that they were doing. I think that was the thing, that people are potentially calling her a hypocrite for, is just how vocal she was against some of the shit that they had been doing and seemingly haven't gone back on. There's a lot of things that are still in place that she was against when she was there. Sort of the idea that she's going back now, and there hasn't really been any, the other shoe hasn't fallen, nothing's really changed. There's that period where, we had talked about Andrew Yang was like going to reach out to her, and they're going to start working towards trying to form unions and this, that, and the third. And, much surprised that a politician sort of overpromised and underdelivered on something. Gasp. There's a first for everything. But, this is sort of the thing. And who knows? Who knows why she's coming back? Is it a matter of doing the Twitch stuff wasn't quite as lucrative as she thought they would be? Is it, did they promise her something? Is there some sort of a reform going to be in place potentially? Like, we don't know what it is that's going to lead to her potentially coming back if she does indeed decide to do so.
Yeah, and listen, you got Sami Zayn out there calling politicians pieces of shit right on Twitter. And again, this girl has her own political view. I mean, unions are, I guess, now they've become so politicized. So what's the big deal? What is the big fucking deal about bringing her back? She's a beautiful girl. She can wrestle. She can talk. She can manage. She can whatever you want her to do. She can do it. I don't see why people have to sit there and be like, take your stand. Don't ever go back again. All right. You should see what they're offering me in my paycheck, motherfucker.
Well, yeah, I would hope that if that is the reason why she decides to come back, that would, she would just straight up be like that. That'd be like, well, they promised me a push. Like, you can't be that fucking dumb, can you? It's one thing if it's like, all right, I hate this job, but I need the money. Like, we've all been there.
I'll be damned. WWE did put out an article on New Jack's passing today. Mm-hmm. Sasha Baron Corbin just posted it in the chat room. So this is a mention. I kind of meant they wouldn't mention it on TV, but even this is a nice gesture. I'm a little surprised about this. But
yeah, a little bit.
But there we go. We'll leave it at that right there. But yeah, anything else on Zelina?
No. And just, like I said, who knows what the reason for her coming back is. She doesn't do indeed end up coming back. So just, kind of think about that before you make judgments, I guess.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see if she comes back in that capacity, or again, she could just be back just to film something for WWE. They were looking to use her more in stuff, things that they were doing with WWE Studios. So who knows? Could be for that. They could be bringing her back. Whatever. I just think people need to stay the fuck out of people's business a little bit. She's coming back because she wants to come back. How about that? Leave it alone. Done. Bye-bye.
There you go.
All right, Smark. You got one more. I got one more. Why don't we go ahead and knock yours out? The Randy Orton article.
Okay. Well, for those of you who, I know there's a lot of people that have been getting a lot of sleepless nights wondering if this was going to happen. So never you fear. Randy Orton is not targeting move from WWE to Hollywood. This is from Cultaholic.com. It says Randy Orton has ruled out the possibility of him departing WWE for a career in Hollywood. Collective sigh of relief. Orton, who has been on the WWE roster for over 20 years, has appeared in a number of Hollywood movies over the years, including 2013's 12 Rounds, 2 Reloaded, and 2015's The Condemned. The 14-time WWE and World Heavyweight Champion has said he enjoys making movies but can't see himself making the move to an acting career full-time, preferring to remain with the WWE for as long as possible. Speaking on the Kurt Angle show, Orton says, quote, a lot of guys, I see them branching off and doing other things or making sure they have something lined up for when they can't wrestle anymore. I don't know if this is some showing my cards or not, but I kind of see myself being with the WWE for life. I don't know why I would go anywhere else. Who knows what the future holds? But although I love movies and auditions, I don't think acting is my passion. I'm not trying to move to Hollywood or New York and be a full-time actor. The way Batista and Cena did it is they used WWE as a jumping board to go into Hollywood and all that stuff. But I think I'm happy with my place in WWE right now.
All right. Well, thank God Randy's not going into acting. I mean, we need him there for life, obviously. And by the way, the two movies mentioned up there were, I believe, both WWE produced features. Like a number of movies over the years, including two movies put out by WWE, because he's not really a Hollywood guy. I don't know if you've noticed, but
he's not really a Hollywood guy, but he will go to the papers if he has to.
The papers.
I will say to pull back the curtain a little bit. I specifically sent you this and read this because I thought it was fucking hilarious. It would be like if I started off a show and I was like, you know what, Boggs, I think instead of having sex with Scarlett Bordeaux, I'm gonna do this podcast tonight. It's like, well, the other option was never really available.
Oh well, I mean, I appreciate that, by the way. I do. I appreciate that sentiment, Smart.
It makes me laugh because it's like nobody. This offer was never on the table. Nobody was clamoring for this. You don't have other projects available for you. You just fucking won.
I mean, I realize that, but it's still a touching sentiment, Smart. I just want you to know that touching sentiment that you would. No, you wouldn't give that up. Anyway,
not at all.
No, and you're right. This is kind of just funny that it's like, I'm not planning on going. Besides, they're not really clamoring for me to do anything right now. And, I love auditions and stuff, but I don't really have any. And, I'm kind of like Joey from Friends, but, I'm a wrestler and have money instead, but I'm kind of like him. I just, my auditions don't go good and people don't like the way I talk slow, and Arn Anderson kind of ruined me, but don't tell anyone. Every now and then I cut a good one. I need to snort some coke, maybe. I don't know.
They told me that they could picture me as Denzel's pal. But like, I would love nothing more if it was the same fucking casting agents that were doing the New Jack thing that were doing fucking Randy Orton's movies. They're just like, oh god, not more of these fuckers.
God, that lady was annoying. Oh shit! All right, so yeah. Listen, the world is saved. Randy Orton is not going into movies. Let's just put it at that. WWE will never have anything to worry about. Never. He's not going to pull a Cena, a Rock, a Batista. It's not going to be him. He ain't doing it. He's going to stay right there in WWE for life. Right, Smart?
That's right.
All right. Did I scare you there? I apologize.
It's okay. I'm good over it.
All right. Well, let's just move on to the last thing. Like I said, then we'll knock out SmackDown. Then we'll end with predictions. This one, again, we're not going to spend too much time on. We all know what went down with Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose when old Philip A. Thomas decided to break into the house, attempt to kidnap her, and probably was going to end up killing Mandy to not have to transfer two people. But Philip A. Thomas, the guy that actually did the attack, I guess we could call it at this point, they have found him not fit to stand trial, incompetent to stand trial. So he's going to be going to a hospital in Florida, in old Chattahoochee, Florida, way down yonder in the Chattahoochee.
It gets hotter than a hoochie coochie?
Absolutely, sir. It does get hotter than a hoochie coochie. Holy shit. Did we just quote Alan Jackson?
I mean, I'm not proud of it, but yeah.
Wow. Anyway, holy hell, this show has gone really off the rails tonight. But this is, I really got to tell you, this is not good, to be honest with you. If pills work on this guy, he literally could be out in a month, a year, 2 years. And then he stops taking his pills, and what happens?
Right.
This is one of the problems with the legal. I mean, listen, I've said before, I may be for cops, but I am completely the judicial system in this country is completely screwed up. It's sometimes I feel like it's almost geared towards criminals in cases like this. I believe it is. He could be out very soon, and that worries me a little bit. Yeah, I know she has a temporary protection injunction or restraining order against this guy, but what's that going to do if he shows up at your house, and it takes the cops, 13 minutes to get there? I know she's a tough girl, but I don't know, man. I'm really not happy with this decision, to be honest with you. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I don't know what he was saying. I don't know what his lawyers were saying. But this has a little concern. Maybe they'll find him completely nutty and he'll stay there for years. But what usually happens in these cases is they start giving him pills, they get him on their meds, and about a year or two later, they're out, and we have more problems. When they stop, when they stop taking meds or think they're good and they don't need them anymore. So go ahead, Smark. I think I rambled there a little bit. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. I mean, I'm with you. It's not a good situation. Obviously, to be in the mindset to say the things that he said on Twitter, to do the things that he did, clearly not right in the head. Obviously he does have some mental problems, some stuff that needs to be worked on, and needs to be improved, needs to be fixed. But, if I was her, I would definitely not be happy right now, and I would not feel comfortable or safe. They did say in the article that they, extended the, can't even remember the word. I don't even know. Restraining order. There we go.
Yep, there you go.
Against him. So, he can't be within 100 feet of her vehicles, anybody that she's closely associated, obviously herself. So, I mean, they're still sort of going through those measures to try to protect her. But, I mean, it's also, sort of against the rules to behead somebody. And that didn't stop him from attempting or claiming that he was going to do so. So that's not necessarily the most, foolproof plan. So it's a real bad situation just all around. I feel bad for her, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, restraining orders are great, but you can't wave a piece of paper at someone and stop them from doing what they want to do to you if they want to do something to you.
Right, exactly.
Now, I'm obviously a proponent of the Second Amendment. I am not saying she should get a gun, but there's a Second Amendment out there, and she can. Let me just say that. And if he's within a certain amount of feet of you, you can just put that bad boy down and go, hey, legal. But anyway, again, I don't think this is a good thing. And again, they could really find him to be completely, off his rocker. That's a medical term. Just want you to know that it's a medical term. And keep him there for a very long time, or he could be out in no time. Mm-hmm. So I guess we'll have to see what happens with this, but I'm not sure this is a good outcome for her, like Smart said. So, all right, I guess.
Related news, we haven't heard much from our good friend Armando Alejandro Montalvo lately. I wonder what he's up to. Old shit pissed milk bucket guy.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't even get a birthday song from him last year. Maybe this year I will, but I haven't seen him on Facebook at all. And it used to pop up all the time.
He's actually he's out. He got out of jail. I did a search on him as a result from May 10th, 2021. He is out. They released him from jail. He's out on bond.
Maybe his lawyer told him to lay the fucking low and stay the fuck off social media.
Good luck with that.
I'm just thinking maybe that's what happened. But on that note, why don't we go ahead and jump into SmackDown Smark. Again, this was the go-home show for WrestleMania BackLash coming up Sunday. And no, once again, we're not doing that. A watch-along with that. It's not worth my time, Smark's time, your time, or any of our time. I will not waste your Sunday like that. I skipped a few things on this, to be honest with you. If you guys want to bring up what I missed, I believe I skipped a little bit of the women's match, and I'm not skipped watching, but note-wise, the women's match and the Rey Mysterio. I mean, it's the same feud's been going on for how long? What are we going to keep saying about this Rey Mysterio and, Dolph Ziggler and Root? Anyway, we start out with Jay. He brings out Roman Reigns. We get a little recap of last week with everything. Reigns cuts a little promo on Cesaro, talking about how Cesaro can't be the face of the company. He can't do what he does. And I love when Roman Reigns asked Paul Heyman, how many championships have I won? And Paul goes, my people are good with numbers. So, 39. Okay, I believe is what he said. It was hilarious.
I do remember that my people are good with the numbers quote.
I thought that was great.
That was a good line. That was a good line.
I did. I liked it. We get Jimmy interrupting. I liked his Nobody's Bitch shirt, which he also made to point out there. Jimmy comes out, doesn't think he can, that Reigns can beat Cesaro coming up on Sunday. Now, I got to say, when Reigns made this comeback with the promo, I loved it, man. He had intensity. It was, and this wasn't the first time, by the way. He had intensity here and in the end of the show when they were doing the same kind of little arguing thing with Jimmy. Again, very intense, very good promo. Almost, I guess being family helps, but man, Roman had some really intense, good stuff tonight as far as promo stuff.
Yeah, because he did them the way that the parent would do to the child that's been sassing. Where it's like, oh, okay, if you got a problem with the way I run my house, I'll tell you what, why don't you do this? Why don't you become champion? Why don't you carry this company? If it's so fucking easy, why don't you just do it? And he was just looking at him like, oh, well, shit.
Yeah, exactly. And that's basically what he says. Why don't you show me you can beat Cesaro? Jimmy called him out. We get the match. It was made official later in the night. So, and that does end up being the main event, which we'll get into down here. Once again, I skipped a few things. This isn't going to be the longest SmackDown review ever. And I got to tell you, I'm sitting there watching this Tamina and Natalya versus Shayna and Nia match, and I really was not going to take any notes on it because I'm figuring there's no way in hell they're going to change titles this close to a pay-per-view. Well, I'll be goddamn, they did. Tamina and Natalya are the new SmackDown Women's Tag Team Champions, and Natalya cut a PSA promo, to all the little girls and, boys that have a dream and can do, you can do it, I can do it, we all can do it. If anyone can do it, you can do it, and just believe it and love, and thanks, Tamina. And Tamina cut something.
Well, yeah, it was really weird though, because right in the middle of this, because you like you said, Natalia was basically saying, no matter how old you are, no matter how many setbacks, it's never too late to begin again, to start over, to become the person you always knew you could be. It was weird. They cut to Cody Rhodes crying. I was pretty surprised by that too. Like, oh my god, if you want to talk about another just shitty fucking melodramatic pandering promo, it was the fucking worst. Like, don't lie to us. Don't pretend that this belt suddenly means something. We've seen the last couple of weeks where it hasn't meant diddly fucking squat. We've seen how shitty the feuds have been, the matches have been. Like, nobody wanted this. Nobody, and they did like this giant fucking firework display when they won the match, and they presented them as these like underdogs that just never gave up. They always followed their dream, and they finally did it. And it's like, they were a thrown together tag team that you put together because you didn't have shit planned for either of them.
Right.
Like, this isn't a thing. Like, you could have done this with the Riot Squad. You really could have. You could. And they were an actual team, and they had their little setbacks, and then now they're finally. You could have told that story, but you didn't.
No. And why would they? I mean, listen, they both looked legit emotional at some points after it. But I got to tell you, this being such, I mean, this might have been a great moment for both of them, and I thought it was. It did look good. I got no problem with it, whatever. But the fact that they couldn't even give them a pay-per-view moment when this pay-per-view only has, hold on here, 6 matches.
Mm-hmm.
6.
Right. And they beat somebody who basically lost a match because of a curse put on them by a demonic doll.
Thank you.
What was interesting, though, is they're apparently going to just try to pretend that Snuka isn't a piece of shit anymore, I guess. Because at one point, she even, Tamina did the little, Superfly taunt, and then she did the Superfly splash to win the match. They were... obviously it's her dad, so they're going to, she feels differently than how most people would feel, but still, It's just like, he was persona non grata for forever, and now I guess they're just going to make you pretend that none of that ever happened.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just think it says more about the women's tag team titles on SmackDown. Listen, SmackDown's been a good show. It's been better than Raw. But the fact that they couldn't even give them a pay-per-view moment, just a SmackDown moment for these titles, I believe actually says a little bit about the titles, that they don't see them as pay-per-view worthy.
Right.
Again, only 6 matches. You could,
and the week prior, you had fucking... one of the match involving this feud it was Reggie wrestling.
Dude, this could have been a pre-show match. Even a pre-show match. I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to give him the old pay-per-view pay for this match, but it definitely kind of stuck in my mind that, holy shit, they really did this on SmackDown instead of giving, literally fucking 2 more nights to this and letting him get some sort of moment on a pay-per-view. But hey, what do I know, right?
There you go. I mean, outside of just the titles never meant anything in the first place, and so quit lying. Outside of that whole thing, like it was a good match. It really was. Like outside, there was a little bit of, the only real bad thing was at one point, Nia started trading shots with Tamina out on the outside, and they were like the worst looking punches I've ever seen. But her missing by a mile is better than her concussing someone.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take the good with the bad. I guess they're smart, but you take them both, and there you have.
Facts of life.
Yes, sir. Holy hell, you're nailing my references tonight, Smart.
As a little quick aside, I was actually watching the Calgary Stampede in your house this afternoon. And it was like, I was getting a little bit emotional because it was like sort of their swan song after, all this stuff that was on the horizon, all the bad things that were to come. Seeing the Hart Foundation, they won the 5-man tag match because it was them versus Stone Cold, LOD, Ahmed Johnson, Goldust. So they win, and everybody's celebrating, and they're in Canada, so the whole crowd's going wild and everything, and all the family members are getting in there, and they show Owen holding his kids, and I start getting kind of teary-eyed. just thinking about just how bad everything was, after the fact, and how this was like kind of their last big moment, professionally at least. And then the sort of sad, somber moment was, it was quickly taken away because I smirked and I kind of started to laugh a little bit when I saw this like 15-year-old, like acne riddled kid with a gold chain. I was like, oh my God, it's fucking Teddy Hart. Like, Teddy Hart has always been Teddy Hart. It was just one, he was the only one. You can watch back and you will easily spot him because he's the only person with a fucking gold chain on.
Of course. It's Teddy Hart. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, of course, it's Teddy Hart. Of course. Makes complete sense. Absolutely. And, man, thanks for bringing the show down a little bit there. But,
Anytime.
Oh, I greatly appreciate it. Anyway, let's just move on. And we've got Apollo. He's given Commander Aziz the Nigerian Medal of Honor. We get Big E pops up on the screen, talks a little shit. Sammy comes down. Then Kevin Owens comes down. Owens goes right into the ring and catches a beating for it. Big E comes in for the save, which I didn't think he was there. I thought he was just on the screen. And then Zayn attacks Owens and gets stunned for it. And then Big E hit the big ending on Owens, showing he'll take out anybody that gets in his motherfucking way.
He's a wild man.
And I love it. Anything you can do with Big E to get him back in the hunt for any title, I'm down with it.
I agree. Me too. I'm right there with you on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So, good little, nice little segment. Kind of rolled on a few things. I do. There is. Didn't that become a match tonight at? Or that's for next week, I believe. I'm sorry. Next week, the Fatal 4-Way with Big E, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Apollo for the Intercontinental Championship. So there we go, right there. That is going to be next week on SmackDown. So, did its job, set up a match, and Sonya and Adam Pearce made it so, if you will. Now, Sasha Baron Corbin, just for you, I'm going to bring this match up tonight. For you, sir. Nakamura versus King Corbin. That's right. I'm even going to one time I will call him King Corbin just for you tonight. Nakamura versus King Corbin. King Corbin ended up pinning Nakamura while in the triangle armbar. But Nakamura ended up kicking his ass in the end, which made me very happy. And then strangely smart, Nakamura picked up the crown of Baron Corbin, King Corbin, like it was a boulder, like Excalibur pulling out the sword. Mm-hmm. And then he slipped it on his head. And holy hell, did Pat McAfee lose his fucking mind when Nakamura put that on his head.
Right. You're never supposed to wear another king's crown.
Oh my God! I literally thought McAfee was going to go in and kick his ass.
It sounded like what I enjoyed about this was there's this whole promo from Corbin leading up to this, where they show him in the back and he's polishing his crown. And I know that sounds like a euphemism, but it's not. So he talks about like how he can beat people's ass while wearing a suit, and he's just he's that kind of guy. And Michael Cole sets up Pat McAfee, and because he's like, okay, well, you had him on your show. Did he show up in his $25,000 suit? And he was like, no. And I was like, okay, well, there you go. That's some good teamwork there. He's like, he wanted to relate to us commoners. So I was like, why did you bring it up? That I thought this was leading to something. Like, you guys need to work on your chemistry or something. Fuck, man.
Well, it kind of goes back to never ask a question you don't know the answer to. Especially when you're on live television and can literally get hit in the head like that. Yeah, Pat McAfee just lost his shit when Nakamura slipped that fucking thing on his head. He was like, oh my God, you never were. You don't do that shit. God damn it. I'm going to kill this motherfucker. Oh, calm down, Pat. Take it easy, pal.
Yes, I was actually kind of surprised, though, because it was a cool way to end the match where he reversed it into a pin. But then I was kind of thinking, I was like, hey, you remember those 2 weeks that they pushed Nakamura? And then
Oh
sure
yeah.
enough, it actually did lead to something because it led to him stealing his crown. And I guess they're going to put a lot of emphasis on him being the king of strong style now. So that loss actually meant something was actually going somewhere. So hey, good for them.
Yeah, now I get to see Corbin and Nakamura in more. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both. All right. So anyway, we move to another Aleister Black vignette. Again, it sounds like he's got some daddy issues. That's really all I got from this promo. Father this, father that. Oh, Lord, Father. Anyway, what do you got on that sport?
Well, as a resident expert in such matters, I really don't have too much for it. It just
fuck.
Kind of taken over the Bray Wyatt role of just being sort of cryptic and talking in circles and riddles, and we'll see where it goes from here. I don't mind it. I think the animation's cool. We'll just actually seeing how this can take place and how this can actually be as a wrestling character is sort of the mystery right now of how he's going to incorporate this character into feuds and matches and whatnot.
Yeah, I really didn't throw that to you as a shot or anything. I hope you know that.
No worries.
Really, I didn't. But anyway, sorry about that.
It's all good. It's all good.
Anyway, Jimmy Uso has his return match against Cesaro. We talked about them setting this match up earlier. And McAfee made a point to say it's been about 14 months since we've seen Jimmy Uso in the ring. It kind of flew by if you think about it, man. Doesn't seem like that long. But
yeah, unfortunately, I was like, it really hasn't been that long.
Well, because in an actual match, it's been 14 months. But we've seen him a little bit. He did come in for that. They showed it tonight on SmackDown where he was there for the thing when he had the match against Roman had the match against Jay and all that stuff. So he's been there. So it's not like he hasn't been on television in the past 14 months. He has. So, but this match was really good, even with Roman causing the DQ. I really like Jimmy being like, motherfucker, you always got to make this shit about you. You always got to make it about you. And once again, I said earlier that, Roman Reigns was really just on fire promo-wise tonight. Absolutely on fucking fire with promos tonight, I thought. Just passionate, screaming, not screaming bullshit, just literally family shit. Screaming family shit at him.
Kind of got oddly meta at a point there because he was like, do you think anybody cares if you can beat Cesaro or not? Nobody cares about this exhibition match. Kind of pulling back the curtain, maybe touching on some actual feelings here.
Maybe a little bit, but yeah, man, I really liked it. Not only I liked the match, but I actually the end after the match again ended in a DQ. Was really good to me. I really thought it was great. Like I said, Roman Reigns was just absolutely on fire tonight, promo-wise. As Jimmy and Roman are arguing, you see Jay and Cesaro in the background, and they're getting into it. Cesaro, was started getting his ass kicked at one point once Reigns came in. He powered out of that. And then we basically end after 2 neutralizers with Cesaro standing over Jay, taunting Roman Reigns. We'll get into predictions in a minute, but I do want to say, Smark, I hope this isn't a bullshit push for Cesaro, win or lose Sunday. He keeps proving every match he's in, especially when he's in the main event, that he is main event material. In my opinion, I know there's going to be some Cesaro haters out there, which that's fine. I don't see how you could hate this guy, but I just hope this isn't some sort of bullshit push to appease the fans that have been saying that Cesaro needs it and this and that. I really hope, win or lose, if he loses, I hope they keep him going for it one way or the other. Keep this going. I think this could be a very good thing for him. And if I'm not sure he's going to win, but we'll get into predictions in just a second here. I think you might need to take a quick drain it break and then get into predictions and then end the show. I've been drinking water and beer, so. But that was really all I wanted to mention for SmackDown. Again, I know I skipped a couple matches, but whatever. Shoot me.
Pretty much. I mean, you really didn't miss anything of any real substance, like you said. The Rey Mysterio Dolph Ziggler match, it was kind of about it.
I mean, it was what it was. Dolph had him scouted for all the moves a few times, and it was what it was. But I mean, we've literally been watching this feud for. Are we going on over a month now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What am I going to keep saying about it?
Right. No, I didn't have anything to say about it either.
No, Dominic and his dad keep coming down, and they keep doing their thing, and they lose some, they win some, and that's about it right there. But that is it for SmackDown right there. Once again, we're going to go ahead and end up on predictions. I do need to take a quick break. I was not joking about that. Let me find a little something to play. It is going to be a very quick one. I just need to go wee-wee and come back in. And yes, I said wee-wee. Leave me alone. I'm looking for a song here real quick to jam.
You should wash your hands.
I might sanitize.
Okay.
I hope that's all right. I prefer a sanitize over a wash.
Okay. Well,
the water gets under my wedding ring. The sanitizer really doesn't. So a little easier to do. So, all right, we'll play a little George Thorogood for you guys. Go ahead and listen to some Bad to the Bone. What the fuck is going on? And we'll be right back. I appreciate it. All right. Whew. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Had to do that right there. That was a necessity. You know what I'm talking about. But you lucky downloaders won't even know what happened. It'll be like the magic of podcasting. So, all right. So, we're going to go ahead and end the show on a little bit of WrestleMania BackLash Predictions. 6 matches. Not a bad show right there. Got a few little things going on. I'll just go ahead and start at the bottom of the list. Go from bottom to top here on Wiki. Damian Priest versus The Miz. We got a lumberjack match. I'm going right with Damian Priest. To me, it just seems like that's the way it's working out.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll go Damian Priest as well.
All right. This might be a little quicker than I thought here. All right, so the match, obviously, we were just talking about all this at the end of SmackDown. The match is the singles match for the WWE Universal Championship. Roman Reigns, Cesaro. I got to tell you, Smart, they've made this kind of tough, which means they're doing their job, and the build has been very good for this match, in my opinion. When it's tough to guess, I think they've actually done a very good job. I mean, pulling the trigger on Cesaro was a big fucking move. It is a big, big move. And is there a reason to take that title off Roman Reigns right now? Really? I don't think so. SmackDown's getting good ratings. No one's complaining. No one's saying he's getting stale. Giving it to Cesaro would be a great little coup, I guess. But we're not exactly seeing the, huge drops in ratings because of Roman Reigns. Whether it's by hook or by crook, there may be some interference here by more than likely Jay, possibly Jimmy. You never know. He might come on down and see the light, if you will. I'm definitely saying Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would go with that too. But like you said, they've done a good job with it where it doesn't feel like it's a foregone conclusion. There might actually be some drama behind it, maybe some fuckery, but it doesn't seem like it was as obvious as it was when it first started.
Right, and I mean, we know Cesaro is a beast when it comes to being in the ring, so there's a lot they can do with it, but it's going to be a pretty damn good match, in my opinion, either way, so there we go. All right, now Wiki is actually calling them the Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode versus Rey Mysterio and Dominic. This is for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Obviously, right now, the belts are on Ziggler and Roode. Smark, do they change them? Do they stay, retain? What do you say? What do you see?
I don't think they're going to be able to pass up the opportunity to have a father-son tag team champion reign. So I think that Ray and Dominic are probably going to beat those old dirty dongs.
Dirty dongs.
Oh, dogs.
I caught that. I think the way they've been pushing it and saying the whole father-son tag, I think you're right. I think it's going to be one of those history first, look at us. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I think this is a good paper for you to do it on. And we know they don't give a shit about Ziggler nor Roode, so why not go ahead, jump in, and I agree with that. I agree with that right there. So far we've agreed on the first three matches. Let's go to this one right here. Triple threat match. Doesn't need to be, but it is. Raw Women's Championship on the line. Rhea Ripley, Asuka, and Charlotte Flair. Rhea the champion right now, obviously. She has to win, dude. Has to win. But my fear is Charlotte Flair. I don't need to get into why that's my fear. I think all of you know. I'm not going to insult your intelligence by going through it again. You know why that is a fear of mine. But in my opinion, I'm just going to stick with Ripley because I think she needs to win this match. Charlotte needs to be taken down a peg, and I think this is the match to do it. If Charlotte wins this match, I think it shows that they have no faith in Rhea. And I think that would be a really bad thing. This would be just once again where Rhea Ripley has had this momentum behind her, and then next thing you know, the momentum is swept out from under her feet. So I'm saying Rhea kind of, I guess, under protest in a way.
Right. I mean, this is her time. This is her opportunity. She needs to win this. She needs to have a decent run with the title to sort of make the title look good, to make her look good. It's really the only right way to go with this, which is why I'm picking Charlotte, because I just don't trust them to do the smart thing. I really don't. Like, it's just, I don't know, for whatever reason you want to put on it, I just don't see them just having faith in her or just resisting the urge to give Charlotte a belt.
All right. We finally disagree on something there. We've got another singles match. Man, this is pretty much, I mean, besides one match, this is all championship matches. Singles match for the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus Bayley. I got Belair. Zero reason to take it off of her right now. Bayley's done her time. I just see no reason to take it off Bianca Belair at this point.
Yeah, same. I mean, there's really no need to go any farther into it than that. It makes the most sense. It's the beginning of her reign, and it's probably going to go for a decent amount of time.
Definitely. And it should. It should. All right. Last thing we got here, and we will wrap up after this, the triple threat match for the WWE Championship. Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman. I feel like they kind of want to try putting the belt on Strowman again. But they spent a lot on Lashley. They gave him this entrance. They gave him, this. They gave him that. Like I've been saying, the guy looks like a champion. He feels like a champion. He's got the the background. He has everything you would want in a champion. I'm sticking with Bobby Lashley.
As am I. I think it's too early to do anything with him to take it off of him.
Yeah. Not that they would get any backlash if they did, which they would, but I see no reason. He's a great, like I said, he's a great champion. Looks it, plays it, lives it. Just no reason to take the belt off of him. So, all right, there you go. That is WrestleMania BackLash, which we will talk about Wednesday. We'll probably talk about that. Not even bother talking much about Raw. Maybe we'll talk a few things if we'll see what happens on Raw. But that is it for the Friday show. Weekend coming up. If everyone enjoys their weekend, I am ready for this weekend. I told the wife, no going looking at houses. We've been doing it for 2 weeks. I need a fucking weekend. I'm going to die. But we do got to start packing. So that we're going to do. I was wondering where I was going to get boxes from.
Dun, dun, dun.
I got a van full of them. I need to go unload it actually tomorrow morning when I get up. So, all right. I guess on that note, Smark, we've had some sad things to talk about tonight, some good things to talk about tonight. And on that note, I think we need to go ahead and wrap up unless you've got anything that I missed.
Nope, we're good.
There you go. All right, so let's go ahead and hit the music. We will go ahead. We did not do them at the beginning. Once again, it just doesn't feel right when we go from the passing of someone right to the high upbeat, plugs. So let's go ahead and jump on them right now. High Marks, Cheeseman, Mojo, G-Wiz. You guys want to be checking those guys out. Where are you going to check them out? Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. That's right. There's 2 T's in Mitt. Do not forget that right there. Oh, excuse me. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday nights. That's where you can find those guys right there. Why don't you go ahead, check them out. And, of course, Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades on the Inhuman Experience. Go ahead, check out the Inhumans over there. Once again, we keep getting more and more stories about UFO sightings. Now we're saying the military sees them pretty much every day, and they just go on about their business. And it's getting scary out there, folks. It's getting scary. You're going to want to definitely subscribe all the usual podcast platforms. Go ahead, check out the Inhuman Experience over there. And, of course, Everything Unscripted Wrestling Podcast. They can be found on all the usual podcast platforms also. And you can also find them on Blog Talk Radio. They asked me to be on tomorrow, but tomorrow I got to go do another Boy Scout thing with the boys. But there's fishing involved, so that's why I'm not complaining about it. And, of course, Stephen Milan sharing this show. It is greatly appreciated, sir. Letterboxd, boxd.com/Stephen Milan is where you can find him over there. He's reviewing films. And if you want to leave us a review, you can do that over there on Apple Podcasts. You can get us on Stitcher, YouTube. Leave comments if you'd like. You can get us on Anchor. I don't know what you can do there. iHeart, Spotify, Google, TuneIn, Player FM. Smark, roll it out, sir.
Yes, sir. Mondays, 8:30 on the Metal Mid Podcast Network. Be sure to listen to Cheese on Sports with the Cheese Man. Sundays, 10:30 a.m. Listen to the Motor City Machine Guns with Mojo and with Dirt. And last but never least, be sure to visit our friends at the Homeland and Back on Tour. That's the Planet Raggle Tour podcast with Bobby Anthem, Papa Dave, Sincere, and Young and Nasty. All 16 episodes are available for you and for your friends. So be sure to subscribe so that you can get all of those episodes and be ready for season 2.
There you go. All right. And chat room, once again, appreciate you guys jumping on in here tonight, joining us. Always a great time with you guys. And if you want to join the chat room, of course, just go right here, mixer.com/dirtsheetdudes. Come on, join us. It's a great time. And you can even make it greater. That's right. So check that out right there. And everyone downloading the show, you know we appreciate you. Thank you very much. Any way you support or listen to this show, we thank you. Smark, I thank you for joining me tonight. And, of course, back here Wednesday night, talking all the other wrestling, my God, too much fucking wrestling. So there you go. See you.
Adios.
We're going over. We're going over. We're going home. Time to take your drunken ass home.